How do you turn your retirement nest egg into a retirement paycheck? Today, I'm going to talk about the simple bucket strategy we use at Paradigm Wealth Partners to create your retirement income strategy so you have a comfortable and confident way to withdraw money from your account and to use that for your retirement income and still be able to have money invested in the market for long-term growth. So we're going to walk through that today. And really, this idea came from a good friend of mine, Nick. Nick's also a financial advisor, great friend, great person. And, I had been already doing a bucket strategy very, very similar. But over the years that I've talked to Nick, his strategy that, we'll talk about today really kind of took hold of me and made a ton of sense. And as I started to use it with clients, they began to really become more at ease with their investment strategy, their income strategy, and gave them more and more confidence to have the ability to go into retirement or through retirement with that confidence. So today we're going to walk through the strategy. This strategy is called a 6-5-4 strategy, and it's really, really simple. Again, I think it provides a ton of clarity for clients that we've worked with here at Paradigm Wealth Partners. And so today, again, I'm going to walk you through it. So the first step of this process is to identify what your income needs to be in retirement. So this is great for someone that is 5 years or less from retirement, and you're really trying to dial in what that looks like for you. So as you go through this process of writing down what you think it costs, maybe you still have a mortgage, you have car payments, you need to have money for vacation and gifts and travel and spending time with your family and your grandkids and whatever those things are, write them down, come up with that estimated budget. Another way to look at this is maybe 80% of your current take-home pay or salary, something like that, but some ballpark estimate of what you think it's going to cost in retirement. So let's assume that that's $8,000, and we're not going to count Social Security and any pensions in this calculation. So, actually what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the money that you get from pensions and Social Security from your figure. So let's just say you and your wife both get $1,500 a month in Social Security. There's no pension. So that's $3,000 covered of the $8,000, which means we need $5,000 a month from our investment portfolio. Let's assume that you have a portfolio of around, let's say $1.5 million to make this easy. If we have $5,000 a month that is an income need from your investment portfolio times 12 months, we know we need $60,000. That's an important key to remember as we go through this process, but I wanted to kind of set that up for this bucketing strategy. So the first strategy we need is the 6 of the 6-5-4 method. The 6 stands for 6 months of an emergency fund. This may be a high yield savings. This may just be in a money market account. This may just be in savings at the bank, not earning anything. But this is money that you can easily get to if something happens. It's the standard emergency fund that everybody encourages. I say everybody, most people encourage you to have. So that stands for the 6. In this case, if we need that $5,000 a month from our income, from our portfolio, times that 6 months, the 6 should have that bucket, the 6-month emergency fund bucket should have $30,000 set aside. This covers, again, any of those things that come out of the blue, anything that pops up that, you may need, AC repair, new tires, what have you, that anything that's not budgeted. So that is the 6. The 5 is 5 years of fixed income set aside for those living expenses. So again, if we need $5,000 a month, for 12 months in a year, $60,000. We need that for 5 years. This bucket will then have $300,000 set aside in that 5-year bucket. Now, I personally also like to say 60 months here. That's also 5 years, but it gives me the ability to talk with clients and potential clients and give them the confidence and the clarity to say, even though the market's wild, a lot of this conversation came up during these most recent tariffs and conversations around trade wars and geopolitical issues that have been taking place over the last several months. And so as I'm having these meetings with clients and reviewing these conversations with clients, I'm reminding them, we have 60 months in that 5-year bucket, in that war chest. That gives us plenty of time to continue to kind of weather this storm and not make panic decisions based on what the market's doing. that has helped people tremendously in feeling like, okay, I don't like what's going on, but I can at least take a deep breath, sit back, not make any irrational decisions, and know that for the next 60 months, 5 years, my income of $5,000 a month has already been set aside by Jonathan and the Paradigm Wealth Partners team because of that foresight of having this bucket strategy and having the plan in place to know volatility will come. We'll have these spikes where uncertainty comes about, market gets haywire, gets wonky, and I'm in a position where I don't have to worry day to day. I don't have to look into my account day to day and be concerned about what's going on. Now, it may not feel good, but my income is already set aside for the foreseeable future. And so I think that really, again, helps provide that clarity and confidence. Some of the questions I get on this sometimes is, why are you not doing 2 years or 3 years or 18 months? And, why are you doing 5 years? And the reason is because I don't know what happens. What if we have 3 years of significant downturns or 4 years or, it just provides what I found a lot of uncertainty. And knowing that, the average bear market lasts somewhere around 2 years. So we've got, 2.5 times that set aside for, these turbulent times. And so more than anything, I think it just provides extra buffer, extra clarity, extra comfort, knowing that this money's set aside. So, is there a secret sauce to why, we've picked 5 years? Not necessarily. It's just been our experience that, 1 and 2 years, clients still feel antsy and jittery about, do I have enough? What do I need to do? Should I sell? And that just causes extra emotions and stress. And, those can lead into unforeseen health issues because you worry about this so much. And so, we have just felt like that 5 years is that really good bucket to know, okay, I've got plenty of time to weather these storms. The third bucket is called for growth. So 6, 5, the number 4, growth. So we're investing the rest of the money for growth. People are living longer, medicine is getting better, technology is getting better. People are living well into their 90s. I've had clients that were in their hundreds. And so it's important that you have a strategy to harness the power of compounding over time and staying invested and staying true to, those beliefs and those roots that, we'll probably get through this. It's not comfortable now, but we'll probably get through this at some point. And then, as we stay the course, we're rewarded for that. I'm reminded of Warren Buffett's, one of his favorite quotes is, his favorite holding period is forever. And he is a really strong supporter of owning equities in portfolios so that they can do the heavy lifting and provide growth in your investment portfolio to provide for those later years, those 20, 30, 40 years from now, depending on when you retire and how long your retirement looks like. Buffett's got a lot of wisdom. He just recently announced that he was going to step down at the end of 2025 at the age of 94 because he felt like it was time to turn the reins over of Berkshire Hathaway to, another group of leaders who he has trained, who he has kind of brought under his wing and coached and mentored. And I think some of this is probably Charlie Munger passing away recently and kind of him losing his sidekick. And I think he's mentioned he's starting to feel his age. But Warren Buffett is a person that has tremendous investment acumen and is a great thought leader for advisors and people and investors as a whole. Going back to that for growth strategy, thinking about how much equities can do for you over that long time period. And of course, there's no guarantee. They go up and they go down and they fluctuate and things get wonky and haywire. But over time, if you're true to what your beliefs, you're true to your convictions, many times you're rewarded for that holding period. And so again, Warren Buffett's quote of my favorite holding period is forever, just sticks with me as I think about having this bucket strategy for retirees and people moving into retirement. So again, a quick recap on the 654 bucket strategy, super simple. Again, we use this at Paradigm Wealth Partners for our clients as we're building out our one-page wealth plan for you. This easy, one-pager shows you in kind of 15 minutes where you're strong, where you're weak. And one of the things that we put on there is this this 6-5-4 strategy. So 6 months emergency fund of living expenses set aside. So in this case of 1.5 million, they need $5,000 a month from their investment portfolio. That 6-month bucket has 30,000. The 5-year or 60 months middle bucket has, again, at $5,000 a month for 60 months, $300,000 set aside in this bucket for your next 5 years of living expenses. The remainder of the money, again, in this $1.5 million example we used, would be 1,270, I believe my math is correct on that, in the bucket for growth. And so this is what helps us continue to grow and harness the power of compounding. So what happens when, we've used 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe all 5 of those years of that middle bucket for the income, and we've let the market grow? Well, as that 5-year bucket dwindles, we will replenish it from the for growth bucket. So, maybe 2023 and 2024, the markets did really, really well, up 20% both years. And so I say the market, we're talking about the S&P 500, which can't be invested in directly. This is for compliance here, but there are other options to invest in, things like these indices that mirror the index, if you will. And so, if the market's up, significantly, we might rebalance early to take some of these profits off the table and kind of refill that 5-year bucket. If the market's down, we might withdraw that all the way down to give us time to let this market recover out of the doldrums that we saw, like we've seen in late March and early April. And so again, what we've found at Paradigm Wealth Partners is this is an excellent strategy. Is it the end all be all? No. Are there other options and withdrawal strategies out there? Yes. But what we found is this strategy really helps combat one of the 5 big risks that I think is out there for retirees, which is sequence of returns. And when you have that 5-year bucket, that 60-month bucket to withdraw, have your withdrawal strategy, how do you turn your nest egg into that paycheck, really provides a buffer and trying to dance around words so compliance doesn't get frustrated with me. Have a buffer to help, with that 5-year. Again, I'm dancing around words because I know that if I say some of them, compliance won't like it. And so having that help offset any sequence of returns, which again is one of the 5 big risks in retirement, provides the clarity, the confidence, the comfort to know you have a solid plan in place, on paper, on purpose, specifically for you. So again, that's how we do it at Paradigm Wealth Partners, the 6-5-4 strategy. If you want to learn more, you want to know how this may apply to you, reach out to me. You can send me an email, you can call our office. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so here. You can click the little icon. You'll be notified when we push out new videos and new content. Be confident in your retirement. Have a wonderful day.